Let your eyes close, even if just halfway. Let your breath slow down, just a little, just for now. There's nowhere you need to be in this moment except here, settled into this quiet space, letting the day finally loosen its grip on you. Maybe fear has been close to you lately. Maybe it shows up at night, when everything else goes quiet and there's nothing left to distract you from the worries that have been waiting all day for their turn. Maybe it's a fear about your health, or your finances, or someone you love. Maybe it's harder to name than that. Just a low hum of anxiety that follows you from room to room, a tightness in your chest that never quite goes away, even when nothing is technically wrong. If that's where you are tonight, you are not alone, and you are not broken for feeling this way. Fear and anxiety are some of the oldest human experiences, older than written history, older than any of us. And because of that, the scriptures speak to fear and anxiety more than almost anything else. Again and again, in different times, in different languages, to different people facing different troubles, the same gentle words appear. Do not be afraid. Do not be anxious. Do not let your heart be troubled. Tonight, we're going to walk slowly through some of those words together. Not quickly, not as a list to memorize, but slowly, like walking through a quiet garden in the evening, pausing wherever something catches the light. You don't have to do anything but listen. You don't have to fix your fear tonight. You don't have to understand it, or solve it, or even fully name it. You only have to rest and let these words settle over you like a warm blanket pulled up to your chin. You are safe right now. In this moment, nothing is asking anything of you. You are held, and you can rest. There's a phrase that appears throughout Scripture so many times that some have counted it, fear not, said to shepherds, to prophets, to kings, to ordinary people in the middle of ordinary, frightening lives. It's said so often because fear is so common, and because the answer to fear is so often simply this: a presence, not an explanation. Not a guarantee that nothing bad will ever happen. A presence, someone with you in it. There's a passage in Isaiah where God speaks tenderly, almost like a parent crouching down to comfort a frightened child. It says, "Do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I have summoned you by name. You are mine. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze." Notice the specific language. When you pass through, not if. Difficult things happen in this life. Waters rise, fires come. No one is promised a life without struggle. But what is promised is presence. I will be with you, and protection. They will not sweep over you. You will not be burned. Whatever is rising in your life right now, whatever feels like fire or flood, you are not facing it alone, and you are not going to be consumed by it. You are safe. You are held. You can rest. There's a verse that many people whisper to themselves in moments of panic, almost like a lifeline. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. It's worth sitting with this one for a moment, because it doesn't say don't feel anxious, as if anxiety were simply a choice you could switch off. It says, in your anxiety, bring it, exactly as it is, exactly how heavy it feels, and bring it with thanksgiving, which doesn't mean pretending everything is fine, but rather acknowledging that even in the middle of fear, there is still good to be thankful for. And then comes the promise, peace that transcends understanding, a peace that doesn't always make logical sense, that doesn't always match the circumstances, but that comes anyway, like a hand placed gently on a racing heart, slowing it down. This peace is not something you have to manufacture. It's something that's offered to you, right now, in this room, in this very moment, as your body begins to settle. There's a short, simple verse from one of the Psalms that feels almost like a hand reaching out in the dark. When I am afraid, I put my trust in you. Not when I stop being afraid. Not, once my fear goes away, then I'll trust. When I am afraid, in the very midst of it, I put my trust in you. Trust and fear can exist in the same moment. You don't have to wait until you feel brave to be held. You can be afraid and held at the same time. There's a passage in the Gospel of Matthew where Jesus speaks directly about worry, about the things that keep us up at night, the what-ifs, the constant calculations about tomorrow. He says, "Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they?" Then he goes on, "Who of you by worrying can add a single hour to his life? And later, so do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own." There's something almost gentle and humorous in this teaching. A kind of loving observation that worry, for all its intensity, doesn't actually accomplish anything. It doesn't add a single hour. It doesn't change the outcome. And yet it costs us so much. Sleep, peace, presence in our own lives. Jesus isn't scolding here. He's pointing towards something freeing. If even the birds, who don't plan or store or worry, are cared for, how much more are you? You are safe. You are held. You can rest. There's a verse from the Psalms that speaks to the physical experience of fear, the racing heart, the tight chest, the way fear seems to live in the body as much as the mind. "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Though an army besiege me, my heart will not fear. Though war break out against me, even then I will be confident." Even then. Even in the middle of the worst-case scenario, an army, a war, the very things that would terrify anyone, there is a confidence available that doesn't depend on the danger disappearing first. This isn't about pretending the danger isn't real. It's about a deeper foundation underneath the fear, something solid enough to stand on, even when everything around you is shaking. If you're someone whose anxiety often centers on the future, what's going to happen, how things are going to turn out, whether you'll be okay, there's a passage from Jeremiah that was written to people in exile, people who had lost their homes, their security, everything familiar. And to them, in that situation, came these words, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." This wasn't said to people whose lives were easy. It was said to people in the middle of genuine hardship, genuine uncertainty. And yet the promise was that there was a plan, a future, a hope, even when none of it was visible yet. Whatever uncertainty you're facing tonight, this promise still stands. There is a future being prepared for you, even in seasons that feel like exile. You are safe. You are held. You can rest. There's a verse that speaks almost physically to the experience of being overwhelmed. Like water rising too high, like a weight pressing down. Cast your cares on the Lord and he will sustain you. He will never let the righteous be shaken. Cast, not carefully set down, not gently place, but cast. Like throwing something away from yourself with some force, because it's too heavy to keep holding. Whatever you've been gripping tonight, a fear, a worry, a dread about tomorrow, you're invited to cast it. Throw it. Let it go. And the promise that follows is sustaining, not removal of every difficulty, but being held steady through it. If fear has made you feel small or weak, or like you don't have what it takes to face what's ahead, there's a verse from the second letter to Timothy that speaks directly to that feeling. "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. A sound mind, not a racing mind, not a spiraling mind, but a sound one. Power, not in the sense of control over everything, but strength to face what comes. And love, which casts out fear, as another verse puts it, the way light pushes back darkness simply by being present. You are safe. You are held. You can rest. There's a passage in the Psalms that speaks to nighttime fears specifically, the kind that come when the lights go out and the mind starts running through every worst-case scenario. You will not fear the terror of night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in the darkness, nor the plague that destroys at midday. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. This psalm was written for people living in genuinely dangerous times, and yet it speaks with such confidence about protection, about safety, even in the middle of real threats. If nighttime is when your fears grow loudest, when your mind replays conversations, imagines disasters, rehearses worst-case scenarios, this psalm was written for nights exactly like this one. The terror of night does not have to be the master of your night. There's a verse from Proverbs that speaks to sleep itself, almost as a direct promise. When you lie down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, your sleep will be sweet, sweet sleep. Not sleep that's interrupted by anxious thoughts, not sleep that feels like another battle, but sweet, restful, peaceful sleep. This is what's being offered to you tonight. You are safe. You are held. You can rest. If your anxiety often feels like it's because you don't know what's coming, uncertainty about a diagnosis, a relationship, a job, a decision, there's a verse from Proverbs that speaks to that uncertainty directly. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. You don't have to understand the whole path tonight. You don't have to see 5 steps ahead, or 10, or even 2. You only have to take the next step, which tonight is simply this: resting, letting go. Trusting that the path, even the parts you can't see, is being made straight. There's a passage from the book of Joshua, spoken to someone who was about to take on an enormous responsibility, stepping into the role of a leader after someone he deeply respected had died, facing a future full of unknowns. And the words spoken to him were, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Wherever you go. Into tomorrow. Into the conversation you've been dreading. Into the appointment, the decision, the uncertain season. Wherever you go, this presence goes too. You are not stepping into anything alone. You are safe. You are held. You can rest. There's a tender image from the Psalms that speaks of being gathered close, the way a bird gathers its young under its wings. He will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart. You will not fear the terror of night, nor the arrow that flies by day. Under his wings. There's something so small, so protected, so safe in that image, like being tucked into a place where nothing can reach you, where the storm rages outside but you are sheltered, warm, hidden, safe. If you feel exposed tonight, vulnerable, unprotected, like anything could happen, this image is for you. You are being covered. You are being sheltered. You are under wings that do not grow tired of holding you. There's a verse from the book of Romans, written by someone who had every reason to be afraid, who had been imprisoned, beaten, shipwrecked, betrayed, and yet wrote these words: "If God is for us, who can be against us?" It's not a denial that opposition exists. It's a question that puts opposition into perspective. Whatever feels like it's against you tonight, whatever fear feels like it has the upper hand, this verse asks a quiet question that doesn't need an immediate answer, only space to sit with it. If God is for you, what does that change? You are safe, you are held, you can rest. There's a passage that speaks to anxiety almost like a description of a physical sensation, a heart that feels like it's racing, a mind that won't stop. When anxiety was great within me, your consolation brought me joy. Notice again, it doesn't minimize the anxiety. Great anxiety, real anxiety. And into that greatness comes consolation, comfort. And that comfort doesn't just calm, it brings joy. If your anxiety feels great tonight, overwhelming, all-consuming, this verse was written for exactly that kind of night. There's a moment in the Gospels where Jesus and his disciples are in a boat, and a sudden storm comes up. The kind of storm that terrified even experienced fishermen. The waves are crashing over the sides, the boat is filling with water, and the disciples are panicking, and Jesus is asleep. They wake him, terrified, and he calms the storm with just a few words. Peace, be still. And the wind dies down, and the sea becomes calm. And then he turns to them and asks, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" It's a striking image, not because it dismisses their fear, but because it shows that even in the middle of a real storm, a storm that genuinely threatened their lives, peace was possible. The storm in your life may not calm immediately, but the one who calmed that storm is the same one who is with you in yours. And sometimes, even before the storm calms, peace can come first. You are safe, you are held, you can rest. There's a verse from the book of Deuteronomy that repeats a promise we've touched on before, but it's worth hearing again, because some promises need repeating. The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. Goes before you, not just alongside you, but ahead of you, into tomorrow, into the appointment, into the conversation, into whatever is coming, before you even get there. Whatever you're walking toward, it has already been walked into. If your fear is connected to feeling alone, like no one understands what you're going through, like you're carrying this by yourself, there's a verse from Hebrews that speaks to a presence that understands deeply, intimately from the inside. For we do not have a high priest who is unable to empathize with our weaknesses, but we have one who has been tempted in every way, just as we are. Yet he did not sin. Let us then approach the throne of grace with confidence, so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need. In our time of need, meaning now, tonight, in this exact moment, whatever that need is, not after you've figured things out, not once you're feeling stronger. Now, in this time of need, grace is available, and it comes from someone who understands, not from a distance, but from having walked through difficulty himself. You are safe. You are held. You can rest. There's a beautiful verse from Zephaniah that speaks of being delighted in, sung over, language so tender it almost feels too gentle to be true. The Lord your God is with you, the mighty warrior who saves. He will take great delight in you. In his love he will no longer rebuke you, but will rejoice over you with singing. Rejoice over you with singing. Not frustration, not disappointment, not a tally of everything you've gotten wrong. Singing. The kind of sound a parent might make over a sleeping child, full of tenderness and love, with nothing to prove and nothing to fear. If part of your anxiety comes from feeling like you're not enough, like you're failing somehow, like you don't measure up, this verse gently sets that fear down. You are delighted in, tonight as you are. There's a verse from the Psalms that speaks to feeling surrounded, hemmed in like there's no way out. You hem me in behind and before, and you lay your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me, too lofty for me to attain. Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? What might sound at first like being trapped is actually the opposite. It's a description of being completely surrounded by presence in every direction, with no gap, no space where that presence isn't. If you feel hemmed in by your circumstances tonight, surrounded by fear, by worry, by uncertainty, know that you are also hemmed in by something else, something that surrounds the fear too. You are safe, you are held, you can rest. There's a familiar verse from the book of Philippians, one we touched on earlier from a different angle, but worth coming back to because of what comes just before the part about peace. Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again. Rejoice. Let your gentleness be evident to all. The Lord is near. The Lord is near. Sometimes, in the middle of anxiety, what we need most isn't an explanation or a solution. It's simply nearness. Someone close, someone present, not far away, not distracted, not too busy. Near. Right here, right now, as close as your next breath. There's a passage from Isaiah that speaks of strength being given to those who feel like they have nothing left. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Notice the progression. Soar, then run, then walk. Sometimes renewal doesn't look like soaring right away. Sometimes it looks like simply walking without fainting, just managing to keep going, one small step at a time. If tonight all you can manage is to lie here, to breathe, to let your body rest, that's enough. That's the walking without fainting. That's renewal too, even if it doesn't feel dramatic. You are safe, you are held, you can rest. There's a verse from 1 John that speaks directly to the relationship between fear and love. There is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. The one who fears is not made perfect in love. This isn't a verse meant to make you feel like your fear is a failure of love. It's describing a process, that as love grows, as a sense of being loved grows, fear naturally has less and less room. Like light entering a dark room, the darkness doesn't have to be fought. It simply recedes as the light grows. If you're afraid tonight, it doesn't mean love is absent. It might simply mean there's more room for love to grow into. And that growth is happening, even now, even quietly, even while you rest. There's one more passage worth sitting with, from the Psalms, a verse that speaks of God being near specifically to those who are struggling. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. The righteous person may have many troubles, but the Lord delivers him from them all. Many troubles, not none. This verse doesn't promise a trouble-free life, but it promises closeness in the troubles and deliverance through them. Not bypassing them, not skipping over them, delivering through them, the way a guide walks someone through difficult terrain, rather than teleporting them past it. You are safe. You are held. You can rest. As we come now toward the end of this time together, let everything we've walked through settle quietly into your body. You don't have to remember every verse, every word. What matters is the thread that runs through all of them. The same thread, again and again. You are not alone in your fear. You are not alone in your anxiety. There is a presence that is near, that goes before you, that covers you like wings, that holds you steady when you feel like you're shaking, that offers peace, that doesn't depend on your circumstances changing first. If your mind starts to wander back toward worry, toward tomorrow, toward unfinished conversations, toward things you can't control, that's okay. That's simply what minds do, especially tired ones. When that happens, you can gently come back to a few simple words, like a hand resting on your chest. You are safe. You are held. You can rest. Say them quietly to yourself if it helps. Not as a command to feel a certain way, but as a truth you're allowing yourself to receive. You are safe. Even if everything around you feels uncertain, you are held. Even if you can't feel hands holding you, you can rest. Even if your mind doesn't fully believe it yet, rest can come before belief. Sometimes the body settles before the mind catches up, and that's all right too. Let your breathing slow even more. Let your thoughts grow quieter, like a room where the lights are being turned down one by one. There is nothing more to figure out tonight. No more battles to fight in your mind. No more rehearsing tomorrow's conversations or imagining worst-case scenarios. Tomorrow will have what it needs when it arrives. Today has already had enough. The terror of the night does not have to visit you tonight. The arrow that flies by day has no power over this moment. You are covered, sheltered, hidden under wings that do not grow weary. The one who watches over you does not slumber, does not sleep, which means you are free to do both. Whatever fear walked with you into this moment, let it walk back out, slowly, quietly, without needing to be fought. You don't have to chase it away. You only have to stop holding onto it. Let your hands open. Let your breath deepen. Let your body sink just a little more into wherever you're resting. You are safe. You are held. You can rest. And when morning comes, mercy will be new again, fresh, untouched, ready for whatever the day holds. But that's tomorrow's gift. Tonight's gift is simply this: peace, settling over you like a blanket, gentle and warm, with nothing required of you except to receive it. Sleep now, if sleep is what you need. Rest, if that's all you can manage. Either way, you are not alone. Not for a single moment of this night, and not for any moment that comes after it.